In this video, I'll talk about tariffs and explain exactly what they're all about. And we're starting right now. Hey guys, Elliot here. So in the last few months, tariffs have gone from a relatively obscure economic term to something that is pretty much on everyone's mind, and that is all thanks to our new president who made tariffs a talked about topic in his previous term as well. Now in this video, I'm going to stay away from the latest current events on tariffs as that changes constantly, and whatever is the latest and greatest at the time of filming will be old news just a few days or weeks after this video appears on my channel. Instead, I will focus on the fundamentals that don't change, such as what are tariffs, how do they work, and what are their pros and cons. You'll then be better prepared to understand what's on the news when it comes to this topic. So fundamentally, a tariff is nothing more than a tax imposed by a government on imported goods. Tariffs are one of the tools of what is called trade protectionism, and together with import quotas, they are used to protect domestic industries from foreign competition. The idea behind this is that tariffs raise the cost of buying cheaper foreign goods, and this will make them more competitive with the more expensive domestic products. Tariffs, quotas, and trade protectionism in general have all been around for centuries, so what you're hearing a lot about in the news is the same argument of whether tariffs are good or bad for the economy that we've been having since organized trade began. Those who support tariffs and protectionist policies say that they raise government revenue and shield producers, businesses, and workers of the import competing sector from foreign competitors. Opponents argue that protectionist policies reduce trade and adversely affect consumers by raising the cost of imported goods, and that this affects both the country implementing the tariffs and the country against which the tariffs are implemented. In general, conservatives and Republicans favor protectionist policies while liberals and Democrats are against them. So who's right and wrong on this? Well, if you're hoping for a nice easy answer, I have some bad news for you. Protectionism and tariffs are a complicated topic, and sometimes they are the right answer and sometimes they're not. The fact is that nearly every country has imposed protectionism at one point or another, and it's often done out of necessity. However, there is a broad consensus among mainstream economists that across the board, protectionism has a negative effect on economic growth and economic welfare, while free trade and a reduction of trade barriers has a positive effect. Historical studies have consistently shown that the gains from free trade outweighs the losses, as free trade creates more jobs than it destroys. Why? Well, because it allows countries to specialize in the production of goods and services in which they have comparative advantages. Now, what about claims about a net positive effect of tariffs? One of the biggest among the positives is the revenue that tariffs provide to the government imposing them. In fact, nearly all of the United States government income came from tariffs prior to 1913, when the federal income tax was established. For developing countries who are unable to effectively tax their own citizens, tariffs remain a major source of income. Another positive is the ability of a country to use tariffs to protect new domestic industries as they grow and become competitive. This has worked well to stand up emerging industries such as renewable energy. Tariffs can also protect domestic manufacturers from foreign dumping. This just basically means that a foreign competitor sells products at a loss in the US market in order to drive the domestic manufacturers out of business. A tariff would raise the price of these dumped goods to be equivalent of the domestic ones, and the foreign company would now have to compete on quality and service instead of being able to dramatically undercut the price. A number of US industries and products ranging from paper clips to canned tuna to sneakers and tobacco have all been protected in this manner from foreign competitors. So now that you know what they are, what is the bottom line on tariffs, quotas, and other protectionist policies? There really isn't one. Clearly, there are a great many negatives associated with this approach and a few positives, but countries will continue to impose targeted and blanket tariffs on each other as they see fit, and the topic has very much become a political football. Governments of poorer nations will continue to raise money using tariffs, and governments of wealthier ones will use them in economic and trade negotiations to score political points and to occasionally wage a trade war. Okay, that was a quick explanation of tariffs, and hopefully now you understand them a bit better and can come to your own conclusion about them. As always, if you enjoy this content, please do like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.